routines of all these surveys. Who am I? Where are all of my armies of destiny? I guess I could capture every butterfly I see, for I see past my crown how my bad days are coming down. We're living in the strange just a time, you and me, watching while the cities rise and fall like.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. I can't believe. You know, there is things that such thing as time warps, time travel, things like that. You know, I was talking to a scientist over the weekend on the phone. He's going to be on our show the first week of March. And he already, I'm not going to say who he is yet, but he is very well known with his own show and everything on TV and everything. I can tell you this, he believes that we are doing time traveling and have been for years. What do you think about that one, James?
Well, let me just tell you, Mr. Gary, I've said that for years. I've said it on here. Matter of fact, my theory is the proof in the pudding that we've been doing time travel for a while is the Mandela effect. I think every time they mess around with time travel, it changes something, because I am telling you that the Monopoly Man had an eyepiece when I was younger, and now all of a sudden it's disappeared. It's not there.
Yeah, but I think maybe, I don't know, maybe that effect does not affect as it with everybody. I think it maybe only affects certain people, because you know what, some things that you don't remember or swear it was not that way, other people remember it. So maybe it's confusion, maybe it only affects certain people. I don't know, but you know, when he's on, that's one of the things we're going to talk about. But he is actually saying that physically we're able and have been to go back and alter things and change time, the timeline. So it's going to be interesting when we have him on.
Oh, I believe that. I don't doubt that for a bit. Matter of fact, and I've talked about this before, you know, just say you transport back in time, and you're going to make a real valiant effort not to interact or touch nothing, but you know, just by you appearing on your feet, you could step, and I've said this, you could step on a bee that was supposed to kill somebody that, you know, could go on to commit mass murders or whatever. You're changing time just by appearing there, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, or it could be the opposite of somebody that, you know, could commit mass murders because whatever you did, it changed the whole balance of time. I don't know. But, you know, that's going to be a great topic on the show. I think we haven't really covered it before. And this guy is very well known. I would doubt that probably less than 3% of the people, adults in this country, would not recognize his name. But I'm not going to even say anything for a couple of weeks because it's like the biggest guest I've ever had on the show. Come on.
Wow. I'm going to have to prod you for a name.
Well, give me $1,000 and I'll tell you who it is. You know what? In India, you know, how can I say it? In Mexico and other countries have been doing all these things to break the world records, like the largest taco, the largest cake, the largest, you know, whatever, you know, the biggest sundae. Well, in India, they decide, well, we're not going to do the food thing. We're going to do a health thing. So they had 2,471 people flex their muscles in a, ready for this, push-up position for 60 seconds.
Wow, that's a lot of people. I don't know how they can mass all these people, do all these tremendous things and breaking all these records. Every week, you've got one or two of these records. They just fascinates me, especially the food ones, how big they are. But that's pretty good doing these push-ups, 2,400 and some people. Wow.
Yeah, 2,471. Well, I'm ready for the next cake that's like 3.5 miles long. Our local grocery store had chocolate milk on sale, and I had my wife pick up 2 gallons. So, and the next time they make a world record of the largest cake, I'm going to contact them and said, send me a piece. I'm set. In fact, send me a 1/4 mile worth.
That's right. Send me a 1/4 mile.
I want a 1/4 mile of that chocolate cake with that chocolate icing. Yes.
Yeah, they'll have to bring it in on one of them big semis. One of your trucker buddies going to have to bring it. They'd have to bring that in. Or a few trucks. My God, that's a lot of cake, Gary.
I know. Haven't you ever heard the expression, eat your cake? And you know what?
Yeah, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to with chocolate milk. 2 gallons worth. Anyway, then there was a guy who broke the world record by eating, hot dogs here about a month ago. And he did break the record. Unfortunately, he didn't live to, win, get his rewards. He passed away from a massive heart attack.
My goodness. Every year at the Coney Island there, that little Japanese guy, I mean, he don't weigh about 120, but he eats his weight in hot dogs every year. It's amazing, And then you got these big guys, they don't even come close to him. But, yeah, I mean, you're putting something, hot dogs is almost 30% salt, and it's just bad food, and you're putting, 50 or 100 of them in you within a few minutes. I mean, your kidneys and your all your organs, man, that's hard on them.
No, not just that. Look at the salt content.
Right.
So if somebody has a high blood pressure to begin with and not even realizing it, and you eat a mass amount of something that's salty like that, it pushes it up where it cause a stroke or a heart attack. I know I have to take blood pressure medicine. A lot of people do. But, I made a mistake this past Saturday. I was watching, old sci-fi movies. And I told my wife when she went to the grocery store, I said, hey, I want some of those ruffled potato chips. But don't buy me a big bag. What she do? She buys me a big bag. Not the small bag like I asked her to. I wanted the little, personal size bag. The little teeny one. She brings a full-size bag, and, and she goes, here's your chocolate milk. So I had a glass of the chocolate milk, and I said, okay, well, I'm only going to eat like 10 of these chips. But then I got so engrossed, like the Night of the Living Dead, The Walk, all these old, horror movies. And I'm sitting here watching the movies, and the next thing I know, I ate the whole bag of potato chips. Yeah, haven't you ever heard the expression, you just can't eat one? Well, I ate the whole bag. Felt great for about 20 minutes, and then the migraine came on. And then I felt my heart beating, and I had to quickly, take my medicine a little bit early because the salt content really raised the blood pressure. So people, you got to be careful on this stuff.
Yeah, that high salt content, you're eating a bunch of it, no pun intended, but the proof's in the pudding, man. I mean, it will raise your blood pressure. I know because myself, I got high blood pressure. I stay away from box stuff, canned stuff. It's all salt to preserve it. So, yeah, you got to watch what you eat, Gary, especially you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, truckers out there are having a huge time, paying the bills because right now, believe it or not, the trucker industry is in a recession. And it's always been really competitive. But a family-owned trucking company turns to cannabis to try to keep the doors open.
Oh, wow. Did you say cannabis?
Yes.
Oh, well, that would be one high-flying truck right there, buddy.
Well, I don't know. I think that they're going about hauling it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is a dog-eat-dog world. Plus, there's so many sanctions and stuff that the highway departments and states and they're putting on these guys. It's wonder they can even make $1.
Yeah, well, a lot of truckers are moving out of California, and they're going to, like, Oregon, Washington, Texas is a hot place for truckers because the economy. You keep hearing from Washington, D.C., oh, the economy is better than it's ever been. Well, if it's better than ever has been, why are we in a recession that is now affecting, the truckers out there? They're the first ones that feel the recession, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. People don't realize if the trucking shut down, you'd be starving, because without the lifeline, the trucks are the bloodline of America, man. All food gets processed or distributed, and all the supplies. Without that, we'd be shut down.
Yeah, you might not be able to go by that big screen either. Think about that. Well, do you know half of U.S. drivers in the United States carry some type of weapon in their vehicle? And that's scary. Yeah, half of U.S. drivers carry a weapon in their vehicle. And that is really scary when it comes to road rage.
Oh, yeah. You're not, and then you got some of those people that, out of mind on drugs on top of that. So, yeah, that is scary stuff.
Well, a judge in California on January 17th issued an order. It basically halts enforcement of labor laws that threaten 70,000 California truckers.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of truckers, 70,000.
Well, guess what? In Indiana, it seems to be, now we're not talking about Florida so much, are we?
But no, I know what happened to Florida on vacation.
Well, I don't know. Maybe truckers don't go to Florida. I don't know, because the alligators and all the snakes and spiders. But truckers say a truck was 96,300 pounds overweight.
Whoa, my goodness. That's not overweight. That's what they call obesely overweight. That's incredible. It's one of the axles didn't break.
Well, one thing you might want to do is check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Besides having, little stories about the paranormal or what our guest is, pictures like a dog or a wolf standing on two legs walking. A lot of weird things is on our website, but then we got some stuff now a little bit geared up for truckers each day. But I can tell you this, my hats go off to these truckers. It's just a lot of things that they see in the paranormal out there that we only hear a fraction of their stories.
Oh, yeah. You imagine that's like anything else with the paranormal field. A lot of the reports I get, or any of us we get, some of them are a year old or 2 years old or old, because and some people don't even report them, so it takes a while sometimes to get them, imagine all the ones we get, imagine all the ones we never hear about.
Yeah, it's sad. Right now, there's 100 truckers being laid off because a New York trucking company, is going to shut down and lay off 100 drivers.
Wow. That's a lot of drivers. That's a lot. Hopefully they can find employment somewhere else, I hope.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee, a guy gets gets convicted of first-degree murder in the shooting death of a trucker. Tennessee police said that they have the suspect in custody, and after that, he was already he pleaded guilty and he was sentenced.
Wow. The stuff that's going on out there is scary, Gary. It almost makes you think twice before you leave your house anymore.
I know. And then a trucker was shot in the leg by an SUV driver during a road rage spat, police said. This happened in Washington State.
Oh, that's right up the road from you, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, road rage. My wife told me last year that she was coming home from work, and whatever she did wrong, and she said, I didn't do anything wrong. But some guy would speed up to her back bumper and then back off, then pass her, then slow down, and then go into the other lane, drop behind, get onto her back bumper within maybe a foot or two, get in front of her. And I said, you know what? I said, I don't know if the guy has road rage or maybe you cut him off, but I had that happen to me back about 15 years ago. And I certainly didn't cut the guy off. I think there's people out there looking for an accident where you rear end them. And then you're at fault. And then they have all these medical issues. Because that's what kind of like what the guy did to me. He would, speed up, get in front of me, drop behind. He did that enough to get me nervous. And then he was get in front of me and then